Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Samantha Leighanne and I talk about books. Today I have a little mini unhaul for you guys. We'll call this my spring unhaul since we're nearing the end of spring. Honestly, it just so happens that I'm pretty happy with what I have on my shelves right now, and I'm gradually working my way through what I own, which is really nice. But there's been a couple of things that I've read from my shelves lately that I didn't love, and since I didn't love them, I don't want to keep them there. So I only have 9 books for this unhaul today, so it's really not a lot. And there's actually a few books in this stack that I have read and did enjoy, but I just don't see myself rereading them. And several of them are more diverse reads that I don't think my library actually has, so I'm actually going to be donating them to my library. So that's a thing. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the books. So the first book that I'm going to be unhauling today is Amina's Voice. This is by Leighanne. Leighanne is a Pakistani American writer, and this is a middle grade book. And this is about a young girl who is also of Middle Eastern descent. So Amina starts hanging out with one of the cool girls, and this girl starts making her feel like she needs to change herself. And that's really the biggest message of this book. It's a really cute book. I liked it. I don't see myself rereading it. And since it is a diverse read, I don't want it to just hang out on my shelves if I'm not going to reread it. So I'm going to be donating this to my library. The next book that I'm going to be unhauling is American Street by E.B. Zaboy. I did very much like this book. This is about a Haitian American immigrant whose mother is detained while they are attempting to come to America to live in Chicago or Detroit. Oh gosh, why can't I remember which one it is? Detroit. It's Detroit. They're on their way to Detroit to live with her aunt, and her mother is detained. And so Fabiola is really left to navigate this new culture and this new city by herself without her mother. And this is another diverse read. I did really enjoy it. I think that it's a really important story. Again, I don't want it to just sit on my shelves. It can do more good in the hands of another reader, so it's going to the library. The next book that I'm going to be unhauling is The Names They Gave Us by Emory. This is actually one that I haven't read because I bought it without reading the synopsis or any reviews, and a lot of people have really liked this. This isn't to say it's a bad book, but I do know a few people that read it and were kind of underwhelmed by it. And this does have a kind of like religious overtone to it, which I am not into. And I don't want to hang on to something that I don't think that I'm going to read, or if I read it, I'm not going to like it. So I haven't decided if this is going to the library or if I'm going to try and trade this in for some credit. The next book that I'm going to unhaul is The Dark Monk. This is by Oliver Potch, words that I can't say. This is actually the second book in a series, and I'm not 100% sure how I ended up with the second book in a series. I do have the first book, and this particular series goes on sale a lot on like Kindle and Audible and stuff. I do plan on starting the series, but I don't know when that's gonna happen, and this is just kind of like taking up space on my shelves. And this I actually borrowed from one of my cousins and remembered that this was hers, so this isn't going to a library or I'm not getting any credit. This is going back to her. So I've had this for a long time, but at least it's going back to its owner, I guess, right? I hate that I was definitely that person. But next book I'm gonna unhaul is After Alice by Gregory Maguire, and I did not like this book at all. I ended up giving it 2 stars. The book itself is really beautiful. Like, I love the way that the dust jacket is because it's an overlay of a map of London, and I just think that's so cool. I read this as a buddy read with Megan from Rogers Reads, and neither of us really cared for it. I do have the entire Wicked series by Maguire on my shelves, and I have Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister as well, but I didn't like this book and I don't want to keep it. So even if it is pretty, it's going to the used bookstore. The next book that we have is When Dimple Met Rishi, and this is by Amina. And I read this and I really liked it. It was really cute. I read this for Contemporary-a-thon, and like I said, I really enjoyed it. It was a really cute story, but I, again, just don't see myself rereading it. Fluffy contemporaries aren't really my thing, and I don't want this to hang out on my shelves when it can do more good somewhere else. So this is another one that's gonna go to my library. The next book that I'm going to get rid of is Triangles by Ellen Hopkins. I also read this book for Contemporary-a-thon, and I've read several Ellen Hopkins books and really liked them. However, this one I did not like at all. I think the core of the story wasn't terrible. It's just the way that it was executed left something to be desired. This is a story that follows 3 women. 2 of them are sisters. One of them is just very good friends. Each of them is dealing with very different things, very serious things, but one of them is dealing with the declining health of one of their children as well as their husband's infidelity. Another one is dealing with, like, you know, bad relationships. The other one is in a loveless marriage and is considering infidelity. The way that the infidelity was handled in this book, I just could not get behind. It was almost like Hopkins was trying to make an excuse for it, and I disliked it very much for that reason, because as a married person, I couldn't get behind it. You know, if you have an open marriage and that works for you, like, no judgment, but that's not what was happening in this novel. So I didn't like it. I don't plan on rereading it, so it's going back to the store. And the last 2 books are actually part of a duology, and that is You and Hidden Bodies by Kipnis. These books, well, not these books. Let me take this one out of the equation. This book was recommended to me by several different people. I really love thrillers, and I love psychological thrillers and, like, serial killer books and stuff like that. So this seemed like something that was right up my alley. However, it was massively overhyped to me. A lot of people still love it. I'm not saying it's a bad book. There were just a couple things about it that really didn't work for me. However, it wasn't the worst book I've ever read. So I had ordered both books off of Book Outlet because they were really cheap, and I was like, hey, why not? Because I was made to believe that I was going to love both of these books. I didn't know very many people who had actually read this one, but I figured since they were both cheap, like, why not, right? So I ended up giving this one 3 stars. So I was already underwhelmed by that one, and I was like, let me just go ahead and finish this. So ended up picking this one up and pretty much hated it. Hated the characters. Nothing really happened. Like, it was a thing. No. So this has no room on my shelves because I do not like it at all. So going to be getting rid of it. Okay, cool. So those are all the books that I'm going to be getting rid of today. Some of them going to the library, some of them going back to their original home, and some of them are going to get me some credit at the used bookstore. So little unhaul this time. I think the last unhaul that I did, I got a lot of the things off of my shelves that I knew I wasn't gonna read. So since I still have so many unread books on my shelves, I'm slowly making my way through them. I think that I'm gonna start doing unhauls kind of like quarterly. I'm really focusing on backlist titles right now versus new releases. So I would say every couple of months I will probably have read enough off of my shelves to, you know, decide what I'm gonna keep and what I'm gonna get rid of, in addition to getting new books. So that's a thing. Okay. Once again, not all of these books were bad. Some of them just didn't work for me. Some of them I liked, but I just know that they can do more good at another location. So that's why I'm getting rid of them. But that is all I have for you guys today. Comment down below and let me know if you have read some of these books. Did you like them? Did you dislike them? Especially if you're a really big fan of the You series, especially Hidden Bodies. Like, I would love to discuss that with you. I haven't actually talked to anybody who's read Hidden Bodies yet, so, you know, I'd love to talk about that. Get at me, Goodreads, Twitter, comment down below, whatever. All of my social media links are also down below as well. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you click thumbs up or hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.